All right, Pisces, we're going to try this again. I thought I was recording your reading and I was not. I'm glad I didn't get too far along with that because I would have been so annoyed. But welcome to your October 2023 tarot reading. I feel like that was significant for some reason because I'm like, that's weird. I could have sworn I hit that button. So some of you, I don't know, maybe you're having to like begin again in some way. But these eclipses in October aren't going to affect you too much. They are highlighting the cardinal and fixed signs a little more than the mutable signs, okay? But still, I do want to see what part of your chart the eclipses will be transiting. The new moon solar eclipse in Libra on the 14th will be in your 8th house of intimacy, sex, death, rebirth, taxes. So there may be a big focus there, maybe in some sort of new beginning for you in that area of life. Now, the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 28th is going to be in your 3rd house of learning, communications, your local neighborhood. This could also be the house that focuses on your relationships with siblings, cousins, neighbors. Okay, so once again, new moons, you know, with the solar eclipse energy, sometimes it can still throw in that element of things ending, but for the most part, especially with us just entering into this Aries Libra eclipse cycle, the nodes just shifting into Aries and Libra over the summer. This is where new beginnings are going to be taking place for you over the next couple of years, year and a half, in the 8th house. Okay, this can also be like hidden financial resources and support that is becoming available to you. The 8th house is about your psyche, diving deeper into that. Some of you may be getting into like a therapy journey, some sort of healing, transforming your psyche in some way, especially as it's related to relationships, how you view relationships. There does seem to be some healing that needs to take place there for you. Then the full moon in your 3rd house. Okay, is that the 5 cards that I need? The full moon in your 3rd house, it is nice, is going to be closing out a cycle that you've been in for the past couple of years. So I would encourage you to consider, you know, where were you at in your life this time around 2 years ago, okay? What has played out, transpired for you within the past 2 years within your 3rd house and your 9th house. So this has a lot to do with education, learning, teaching, expanding your consciousness here. Some of you may have been undertaking some sort of spiritual journey. For some of you, there can be something about communication that you've been mastering here over the past couple of years. So definitely take some time to, like I said, let me zoom in a little more. Take some time to reflect there on what's been taking place in the past couple of years in those specific houses, because you have a pretty big cycle that's closing out for you this month, okay? Because this is the last eclipse in the Taurus Scorpio cycle. Finally, I'm so ready for it to be done myself, to be completely honest. So yeah, and like I said, this energy for you guys tends to be a little more supportive. Now, you do have some challenging cards. We're going to go ahead and get into it. I'll talk more about the astrology too as we go along in your reading. So your overall energy this month, Pisces, is the devil. Okay, so there's some sort of toxic cycles, patterns, especially in relationships, that are needing to be acknowledged, addressed, healed, integrated. For some of you, some things that just need to end, to be blunt, okay? some toxic patterns even within you that you need to acknowledge a little more. Now, for some of you, this may be a specific relationship that's coming into focus that may be rooted in some sort of codependency, some sort of manipulation, control. Sometimes this can even be abuse or something. Sorry, trigger warning there, okay? So these are definitely things that you want to be mindful of. This could be a toxic work environment, a toxic romance, toxic friendship, okay? It can really be anything. Now, this double energy is definitely making me think of Pluto going direct on the 10th. Okay, so where is that going to be? In your 11th house of friends, community. So for some of you, this double energy may highlight some sort of toxic relational habits or patterns as it's related to friends. I'm going to get a clarifier on the more challenging cards as we go throughout the reading. So for some of you, yeah, it's about the communication. Okay, like I was saying, you're closing something out. So there may be a bit of a significant event or even conversation that you're having this month with somebody, possibly in a friend group, but it doesn't have to be. That is going to, I don't know, give you some clarity or help you understand like why you kind of attracted this friend, what's the reason behind it. But there is going to be some sort of unhealthy, a recognition of something unhealthy, okay, within a relationship. And I do think it's centered once again around this element of communication with the 8 of Wands. It can also be, when it comes to romance, possibly about rushing. I'm hearing fools rush in. And I also, I read somewhere, I think, that it's kind of a red flag if somebody wants to move like too fast into a relationship. Sometimes that can be that whole love bombing thing that's really going on, where you may be dealing with someone who, I'm not saying they're a full-blown narcissist, but they may have some narcissistic tendencies, okay? And you may be kind of embodying that more empathic energy. So it's kind of like the narcissist versus the empath, which, you know, if you really take a deep dive or really analyze these two, what it seems like polar opposite energies, they both share the same core wound, okay? That's so crazy because I was literally writing about this earlier or reflecting on it when I was creating my Instagram post today about people pleasing and things of that nature. Let me see what I put here in my notes. It was something. Okay. Yeah, so the shared core wound that both the narcissist and the empath have, I wrote it as a quote: I need you to help me feel worthy. Okay, so the narcissist, they need the empath because the empath is going to make them seem like, oh, you're just so worth all of this time and this energy that I'm putting into you, all this love that I'm giving you. You know, even if you, which we all have, gone through life shit, and, you know, even if you've done fucked up shit, like, I'm just going to be so empathetic and always extending myself to you. And they may think, or you may think, that it's out of this desire to, I don't know, show up and care for someone. But it's really coming from a space of you getting validation from helping other people, from saving other people. And then once again, the narcissist, they're getting validation from you putting all of this energy into them, okay? You know, because it's almost like Pisces has that tendency to kind of veer into some obsessive types of patterns. Okay, you are the opposite of Virgo for a reason. You guys can really kind of get in a loop where you're just like stuck. So I don't know if some of you have been in a loop here with this devil energy. I am thinking it is relationship oriented. There's no coincidence this month. I am going to be choosing 2 oracle cards from different decks. Just because it's eclipse season, I want to get a little more insight. And with these eclipses being relationship focused, I am actually pulling from a relationship oracle deck to see what your connections are looking like in this upcoming month. I mean, as we can already see with the tarot cards, there are going to be some patterns or a significant relationship that's being highlighted where you're like, okay, you know, what's going on here, essentially. So you are coming into the month Pisces as the King of Wands. So I love this. You're taking back your power. For some of you, this is about building up your confidence, which, you know, the empath can sometimes be lacking, whereas the narcissist tends to have an overinflated sense of confidence or belief in themselves. The empath is like lacking heavily in that area. Or sometimes maybe even having an overinflated ego as far as how you think you're going to maybe help someone, heal someone, transform someone. That may be where your ego kind of comes into the picture here, when at the end of the day, we can kind of guide people. Like they say, you can like lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can give people the tools and, you know, guide them in the quote unquote right direction. But at the end of the day, like, it's up to them. They have free will of whether they're actually going to engage with the tools, work with the tools, if they're actually going to do the healing work. It's almost like you're trying to heal for people. And yeah, that's not your job. I would definitely suggest you checking out my Instagram at themysticmodel for the post that I just posted on Saturday. Okay, maybe you resonate with some of that. Okay, but yeah, I'm getting, you can't heal for them. You can only heal for yourself. And within you recognizing, because you also gotta, you know, take a look at your own experience. Who has healed you? You. Okay? Even when it comes to, you know, doing the quote unquote work, it's because you did the work. You went to therapy. You talked about your traumas. You, you know, confronted these issues head on. You recognized within yourself things that you wanted to unlearn, and you made a commitment to doing that. You did all of that. And it's up to the other person, whoever you're connecting with in this kind of toxic dynamic, it's up to them to heal themselves. And it's up to you to let them. Sometimes, Pisces, you want to step in and once again kind of save people. People don't learn that way. It's almost like you're also getting in the way of someone's karma. I hate to say it. And once again, you're not letting them face the consequences, maybe of their actions. Because you might be, I don't know if there's such a thing as being too forgiving. I mean, it's good to forgive, but you might be too forgetful. Like they say, forgive but don't forget. And I know that can seem kind of contradictory, really, because when you're forgiving, you really like high key are supposed to be like wiping the slate clean and everything. So technically you should be forgetting, but I'm getting, that's not, you guys don't need to do that. And that's one thing about a Pisces too. Y'all can compartmentalize shit and act like that shit never happened when it did. Okay, that's the part of you that likes to live in the delulu, right? I'm just gonna tuck this away over here in this part of my brain and never think about it again. No. That's what we not gonna do, okay? So your challenge here this month, Pisces, is the Three of Cups. Okay, so for some of you, once again, it is relationships, possibly friends stuff. I mean, this is more of a social setting. Maybe a reunion, okay? If you're wanting to reconcile with someone or someone's coming into the picture to reconcile with you, you need to be very mindful of, you know, how this person has already showed up. Has this person really changed? Or are they just talking a good game here? For others of you, why would the Three of Cups be a challenge? Because this is actually a pretty good energy, celebration, fun, good times. We'll say be mindful of gossip here with the Three of Cups. That may be, going back to the communication thing, a part of your, maybe some of your toxicity is coming from spilling the tea or something like that, okay? When you might need to shut up and maybe write about that in your journal or something instead of, you know, gossiping to your friends or whatever. Maybe talk about it in a therapy session where you know they can't share any of whatever it is y'all discuss, right? They've got a confidentiality agreement. For some of you, maybe you feel like you don't have friends, or you haven't like met the people that you really want to connect with. Maybe some of you just feel like I just don't have time for it. I don't know, some of you are like embracing sobriety, and maybe you feel like going out with friends is going to pull you into bad habits, into things that you're trying to refrain from. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and you may feel like I don't want to spend a bunch of money either. Going out and socializing, it may seem like, this is a bit taxing on my finances. You know, I ain't really got it like that at the moment, okay? It could just be a momentary thing. With the Knight of Pentacles, it does seem like your finances are a bit slower, right? Maybe you are trying to rebuild your finances in some capacity. So you might have to, you know, say no to some of the invitations. And it's not to say that you have to completely isolate yourself, but maybe you do have to limit yourself, right? Where, okay, I'm only gonna go out with my friends like a couple times this month and that's it, you know, or maybe it's just gonna be once, you know, this month that I'm gonna go out. But yeah, that's gonna be it, right? For some of you, there could be someone coming in with a reconciliation. They've been dragging their feet. They may be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You may have been waiting like a long time for this person to come in, maybe offer an apology, or like, you know, really make an effort to want to see you, go on a date with you, spend time with you. What you don't see coming, it's the Five of Pentacles. I'm definitely going to clarify this, okay? So there is going to be maybe some sort of financial hit that you take. Let me see here. What is this Five of Pentacles? Okay. Maybe something that you are in denial about, not wanting to face the truth. Oh yeah, going back to what I was saying, Narcissist, empath dynamic. I need you to help me feel worthy. This is some of you, you haven't recognized. This is your blind spot when it comes to relationships, and why you may find yourself in these types of connections, maybe where they're really draining, full of drama, inconsistency, uncertainty, maybe even a bit of manipulation you feel like is going on, or... And it's interesting how there's two people out in the cold. Two people, once again, that share this same wound here. Of finding their sense of worthiness through others, when that can only be something, I mean, I won't say only, but it mainly has to come from yourself. It is, I feel like, human and natural for us to need external validation. But guys, this is something about it needing to be an inside job here. Maybe your tendency to focus outwardly on the healing of others is really an invitation for you to turn within and focus more of that energy on you and healing yourself. Healing possible attachment injuries or wounds, however you want to refer to it as, that keeps you in these kind of dynamics. For some of you, this unhealthy dynamic you're in is not making the money that you should be making or could be making. I won't say should, but the kind of money you could be making. There's more potential for you. Some of you, this devil energy is that feeling of lack, feeling like you should just accept the bare minimum, essentially. And that may be reflected not only in your finances, but in your relationships too. Romantically, within your friendships, within your family. Where you have to give your all, and you come out kind of feeling empty-handed, maybe even feeling like I'm not even being compensated for the energy, the time, the resources that I put into this. For some of you, especially business owners out there, you may be going through some big internal changes, because I'm hearing raising your rates. With that Knight of Pentacles, that's where the financial recovery is going to come from, or seeking out opportunities with higher pay, where you don't have to live kind of like this struggly life here. And that's one thing Pisces can be almost comfortable with, like being the martyr and sacrificing the things that they really want. And especially with Pisces, it can kind of feel like this inner conflict between like wanting to help others, and wanting to be accessible and affordable, but also wanting to help yourself, in knowing that you have the money that you need to take care of your responsibilities, your needs, but also your wants, right? This isn't just about having enough money to pay your bills. This is about having more than enough money. Maybe for some of you to feel like, yeah, I can go out and like socialize more because I've got more money coming in. I can spend more money on pleasure and enjoyment, and not just on the bills and keeping a roof over my head and food in my mouth. Like, no, like I can actually go out and maybe pay to go on a nice vacation somewhere, or to pay to go out to a nice dinner with my friends or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm definitely getting like, it's time to get your money up for real. And a lot of this is going to come through your self-worth and self-esteem going up as well. Your advice is the Eight of Swords. Stop playing small, Pisces, and free yourself. You know, if you feel like you're stuck, you're trapped, maybe for some of you feel like I'm trapped in poverty or something like that, like, or I'm trapped in this mindset of feeling like I can't say no to others, trapped in this pattern of feeling like I'm always having to save people. You don't have to. You really don't have to do that, okay? Let's see what's going on with the astrology here. I told you where the eclipses will be hitting. I do want to focus a little bit on Venus and Virgo from October 8th through November the 8th. For a month, Venus is going to be in your opposite sign of the 7th house of relationships, okay? How you relate to others. So once again, that whole dynamic of the narcissist, the empath, codependent versus interdependent. What is this Eight of Swords, Spirit? King of Pentacles, look at that. You got, baby, come on, with the money. You're supposed to be at the King of Pentacles, and some of you have been okay with not only being at the Knight of Pentacles, but maybe even being at the 5. Who knows? You know, life happens sometimes, unexpected things come up and they really set us back. So for some of you, it's just like life shit has happened and you needed to recover your money. I do see for some of you, the money is actually going to start coming in. Okay. Venus was still in this post shadow phase for like the first week or so of October. So you should start to notice money coming in by the end of the month. Like you may be at this King of Pentacles status, which is a really big jump from the 5 of Pentacles and even the Knight of Pentacles in a really short amount of time frame. You may be sitting on quite a bit of coin there for you. Once again, we have a strong earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn that's coming through here as well. Now, for those of you that are feeling trapped or stuck in a dynamic with an earth sign that doesn't feel very healthy, you get to decide. You get to make that decision. I had to look underneath the deck. 9 of Pentacles. For many of you, this is very much about money, but also about a relationship. You may be choosing yourself, right? Choosing to be single, focus on you, focus on your healing, addressing certain things so you're not repeating the same old patterns, right? Good for you, Pisces. We love to see that. We also have, let's see, Mercury and the Sun shifting into water sign, Scorpio, at the end of the month. Let me see where that is for you. Scorpio is in your 9th house of higher learning, mastery, travel. Some of you might be getting a passport, maybe getting like your passport renewed or something like that. For others of you, this is about publishing, putting your work out there. Some of you may be teaching, mentoring others, coaching others in some capacity. That may be something you need to lean into when it comes to increasing your finances. This could also be about publishing your own work, your own artistic expression of some sort, blogging or something like that. For some of you, you might be surprised to find that there's money that can come in for you in that realm. Interesting. We have the earthworm coming through as your message from Spirit. Okay, so let's see what this earthworm energy is. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share their inner vision. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. Okay, I love that. So, once again, the mastery going from the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, right? So when in balance, the earthworm is earnest, intelligent, and valuable. When out of balance, it is self-conscious and apprehensive. Eight of Swords. Okay, so you need to get out of that space, right? Recognizing that what you have to offer, your gifts, they are valuable. And once again, for some of you, I'm seeing you need to like raise your rates or something like that. You definitely could be making a lot more money. I get like, yeah, some of you are like wanting to be affordable and accessible and all of that stuff, but people be having money. And I think we have just over the past few years kind of been conditioned to believe, and it's not to say it's not a reality for a lot of people, that, yeah, nobody has money right now. Nobody can afford this. You know, I gotta lower my rates, my prices. No, you need to do the exact fucking opposite. Because there are a lot of people that, to be honest, they have not been financially affected in the past few years. Okay, you know, whether that's their privilege, their fucking foresight, planning, whatever the fuck, okay, or shit, they got their own bag, and they're willing to invest into someone like you. And I'm getting, for some of you, your rates may actually be turning away people that would want to put more money in your pockets, because when you're charging so low, they may feel like, oh, well, this person doesn't think that their work is really of that much value if that's the price that they're charging. It's kind of like this psychological thing. Like when people see that you're like, oh, she charging that much, it's because it's worth it. Okay, so some of you might be kind of going back and forth with this idea here. But I'm supposed to be able to heal people, and to do that, I need to be able to have access to like all people, you know, or all people need to have access to me. And people, they will make a way, they will find a way if they want something that you are providing. Now, one thing about me, I do understand people's money and all that stuff. So payment plans, okay? See if you can get folks on a payment plan or something. You know, it's got to be a little more adaptable, flexible here. But also make sure that you're getting what you need to truly thrive in life. Okay, interesting. For your relationship oracle, we have Saudade. Okay, somebody's missing you, you're missing them. There's a feeling of nostalgia that is emphasized when this card comes through. Sometimes this is just missing the good old days, right? When things were simple, maybe before you had to pay bills and have adult responsibilities, all that bullshit, right? As you can see, I clearly don't care too much for adulting. But yeah, like adulting from this space versus adulting from this space, though, that could be a completely different experience, right? So for some of you, longing for the good old days, it's like, maybe if you were in this space before, fine. So figure out how to get back there. You've been there before, so that means you can get there again. For others of you, I'm getting that longing for the good old days is what's keeping you stuck as far as your earning potential or something. A part of you is wanting to like shy away from, it's not so much more work, more responsibility. It's something about your integrity too. Like when you feel like, oh, I'm offering this service at this price because you are someone of like great integrity. It's like you really want to follow through on what you're offering and making sure it is reflective of you know, the pricing and all of that. But it is. Like, stop going back and forth, Two of Swords. This is what you're in denial about, that a part of the reason why you're in this Five of Pentacles is because of you. Maybe it's certain spending habits, you know. But once again, I keep getting is you not feeling good enough to really charge for just how good you really are. You know, even if you are still newer, I feel like you guys have some experience under your belt. You're not completely new here. So if you've been doing this, like I always tell myself, like I give myself a raise, like within my own business. Yes, I'll raise my prices. You know, sometimes, look, I'll adjust them or offer a little sale or something like that, you know, but for the most part, I'm like, yeah, we're not going back to my prices from 5-6 years ago when I used to offer $5 readings. Nah, I'm like, at this point, shit, you might as well get on YouTube and watch one of these free readings. But if I'm doing a personal reading for you, like, yeah, I'm gonna charge you a certain amount for it. And it's worth it. More than worth it. Go check out the reviews. Some of you might need to, you know, toot your own horn here a little bit. Like, be like, yo, check the reviews. Like, no, I'm not bargaining my rates, because that may be something coming through too. Somebody wants you to make some adjustments and you're just like, you know, can you do it for this amount? And you're like, no, the rate is the rate, baby. Like, you can go find someone else that can do it for cheaper. That's fine. But yeah. Don't, I'm getting like, don't bend on stuff like that. For others of you, I was seeing maybe some sort of reconciliation, potentially with someone that you've been in this devil energy with. You're gonna have to think twice. I'm hearing history repeats itself. So this person, I don't think they've changed much. Maybe you do have some fond memories of them, but you also need to, like I said, Pisces, you compartmentalize and you tuck away all the bad things that people do under the guise of forgiveness, when you're not supposed to be forgetting the bad things that people have done. You could still have a clear heart, but I'm getting your mind does need to remember, does need to, you know, keep track of how someone's really been showing up and if it's good enough for you. Okay, so I mentioned zodiac signs already. You got a very strong earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming through. Maybe someone with fire placements, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. As far as dates that may be significant for you, y'all's reading was hella long. I'm like, look, I'll take y'all time and getting through this. But as far as dates for you, I am seeing the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, the 8th, the 15th, and the 21st. Yep. Okay. So someone else that may be watching may be 21 years old as well. That may be significant too. But all right, Pisces, I'm gonna let y'all go. Hopefully you got what you needed here. If this resonated at all, feel free to like, leave me a comment below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Until next time, sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.